I was 8 years old the first time I saw an angel. I was sitting at the dining table with my family, brother, mom, and dad, and I was, I don't know, somewhat bored. Church had jazzed me up. They had been talking about angels at church, and I wanted to see them. And so I just tried. This is one of the first times I remember really effectively seeing in the spirit, but I just, I don't know, it felt sort of like I was pushing on a muscle, but it wasn't necessarily a muscle. But I think my eyes did squint just a little bit, almost to get the effect, even though this was a spiritual muscle, not a physical muscle. I started to see in flashes. They were like as fast as camera flashes, but I saw angels around the dining table. Behind all of us, surrounding us, were a group of angels. They were, gosh, I can't even quite remember, about between 6 and 8 angels. And they were really, really tall, because they had golden skin and almost an androgynous look, and their hair was a bit curly and kind of came to chin level. They were really, really tall. At that time, I did not see their wings. Doesn't mean they didn't have them, but I didn't see their wings. And they held themselves very, very still. They had this specific stoicness about them. I've learned a lot about angels since then, and I know that they were doing a job. I also think that these angels in particular knew that I was struggling to see, and so I believe they had instructions to hold very, very still so I could actually get a better image of them, because if they had moved naturally, then I wouldn't have been able to keep up. And so they stood very, very still. They were around us at dinner. They didn't say anything, but I remember I described them to my parents, and I remember their bug-eyed reaction. But they were very, very beautiful. All of them at that point had an extremely similar look, although there were differences. And that was the first time I saw them. Oh, they had on this beige but mostly golden tunic, and it went down to just above or around ankle level. And in that moment, they were hovering about a foot in the air. I told my dad when we were at the table, hey, I think they're hovering about a foot in the air, and they're almost too close to the ceiling. There's less than a foot until they get their heads are touching the ceiling. And Dad thought about it, and he goes, that must mean they're about 7 or 8 feet tall. I didn't know how tall that was because I was so young at the time, but they were about 7 or 8 feet tall. That was my first view of angels, but there is so, so much more. The thing about angels is I've gotten to see a bunch of different kinds of angels, and they are as varied as their appearance is as varied as probably as many species of animals are on Earth. There are species of angels.